What did I teach my children about sex? Is there a healthy middle ground for them without being naively celibate or damagingly promiscuous? And how did you communicate that? You know, I didn't teach them, my kids, much explicitly about sex. I actually don't remember any conversations about sex per se. And I can't even really remember how they found out about sex. I'm certain that they knew the basic mechanics plenty early enough. So it wasn't like it was a taboo subject. It just, in some sense, never seemed necessary. Now, that doesn't mean that there wasn't any instruction about sex in our household. I mean, the kids watched, what do you teach children about sex? Well, you teach them how to be good people in the broadest possible sense. And so one element of that would be, don't casually use and hurt other people. And you act that out as a parent to the degree that you're capable, and your children observe that. They also observe how you treat your wife or husband. Oh, they're observing that all the time. You can be sure of that. And then they also observe how you treat your son and your daughter and how you differentially treat them as well. And so they're learning about sex in the broader context of human relationships all the time. And most of that's implicit. And so, my wife Tammy and I have a strong monogamous relationship. That's what we explicitly committed to and what we both implicitly desire. And physical affection, and some of that demonstrative, some of that the kids witnessed, us hugging or kissing, that sort of thing. Nothing more than that. No, but they certainly weren't strangers to the idea that we found each other attractive and that we wanted to be with each other without them with some degree of frequency. And all of that is instructive to children. But I think the most important lesson about the morality of sex was probably taught to them merely as a consequence of observing how we treated each other, and also, by extension, how we treated them. I think that the expectation that they dealt with sex wisely was part of a broader expectation that they dealt with temptation wisely. So, and sex is like that too. It's like, who's got the upper hand, you or the sex? So, and I think the kids just knew that. And, I watched their relationships. They had serial monogamous relationships as teenagers, which is par for the course. And by and large, they handled them as well as you could expect two reasonable people who were teenagers to handle them. And I generally liked their choice of partner, thank God, although not always. And that was awful when that was the case, but it didn't happen that frequently. So I didn't have to teach them explicitly what they had already been taught implicitly. And you probably can't teach things explicitly if they haven't had the groundwork laid for that teaching implicitly. So